As evening falls on Guangzhou, the sky darkens. Without any warning, a torrential downpour begins. Thunder, lightning, and violent rain. This is the weather the people of Guangzhou face most often. As the province with the highest average annual rainfall in mainland China, for thousands of years, it was cut off by mountains, far from the central plain, and was once called the land of the southern barbarians. And yet, it was from amidst such storms that a city as vast as the sea and sky was born. Guangzhou, one of the world's few ancient commercial capitals to thrive for over 1,000 years. Who exactly created Guangzhou? And what force has allowed it to prosper for a millennium? To answer this question, we need to return to that storm. This is the Nanling National Forest Park, located 300 kilometers north of Guangzhou. It is a massive mountain range stretching 600 kilometers from east to west and spanning 200 kilometers from north to south, lying across the southern tip of mainland China. Blocked by the mountains, cold air masses from the north and monsoons from the south confront each other here, creating widespread precipitation, with annual rainfall reaching as high as 1,500 to 2,000 millimeters. This abundant rainfall, along with the West River flowing from the Yunnan-Guizhou Plateau, converges to form a super river. Its annual runoff exceeds 336 billion cubic meters, 6 times that of the Yellow River. This is the Pearl River, China's second largest river by volume. The Pearl River flows south, emptying into the vast South China Sea through 8 estuaries. The immense amount of sediment it carries has built up China's second largest delta, the Pearl River Delta, over a long expanse of time. The sediment brought by the water current continuously accumulated, surrounding what were once bedrock islands in the bay, like Guangzhou's Baiyun Mountain. And thus, what was formed were the many mountains and hills on the mainland. And Guangzhou is located right at the center of the entire Pearl River Delta. Today, the Pearl River Delta is still advancing into the ocean at an average rate of nearly 10 meters per year. But we can still find traces of that ancient sea within the urban area of Guangzhou. This is the site of the Kixinging ancient coastline. It is nearly 100 kilometers from the nearest coast today, a rare example of an ancient coastline found so deep inland. Thousands of years ago, the surging ocean waves reached all the way here. The relentless force of the crashing waves hollowed out the lower part of the coastal rock, causing the upper rock to lose its support and collapse. In this way, under the erosion of the waves, the cliff face gradually retreated. As the tide receded, the wide platform formed at the base of the rock was slowly exposed. This is a typical marine-eroded landscape. Today, the ancient coastline remains, but when we look up, we see a sky filled with flyovers and a forest of tall buildings. The once vast seas have since become mulberry fields. And looking across southern China, the Pearl River Delta boasts the most expansive and fertile plains. Add to that the Pearl River's dense network of waterways, and it naturally connects various parts of southern China. In 214 BC, the Qin dynasty chose this place where the water systems converged, a place with vast plains, to build a city. And so, the city of Guangzhou, with its history of over 2,200 years, was officially born. But if it relied solely on the Pearl River, Guangzhou could, at best, only become a regional hub, not the super city it is today. With influence radiating across the entire country, to complete such an evolution, we need to go beyond the Pearl River estuary, cross the Lingding-Yang, and reach the South China Sea, the largest of the 4 seas bordering the Chinese mainland. That is where the southern wines rise. This is a polyhedral gold bead crafted using Han techniques. It was found in the region of the Italian peninsula dating back to 500 BC. Back then, it likely started its journey from the Mediterranean, passed through the Persian Gulf, and crossed the Indian Ocean aboard a long-distance cargo ship. From a port near Guangzhou, it entered China, which was then under the rule of the Eastern Han Dynasty. These vast collections of gold, silver, and porcelain from different countries and dynasties are like pieces of a puzzle. They piece together the story of a bustling and prosperous maritime Silk Road that spanned 1,000 years. Departing from Guangzhou and heading to the South China Sea, its southern location made it a crucial link on the sea routes of this Silk Road, connecting Southeast Asia, South Asia, West Asia, and other nations. It was the most strategic major port. It was truly China's undisputed southern gateway. Even more crucial was the year-after-year blowing of the north and south monsoons. They provided the power for ancient sail-powered vessels to travel thousands of miles on long voyages. As a result, countless ships sailed day and night, connecting the world to Guangzhou. And Guangzhou, in turn, connected to the vast Chinese heartland through its rivers and land routes. This port, which began operating as early as the Qin and Han dynasties, rose to become the largest port in the East during the Sui and Tang dynasties, and that period of history has left indelible marks on this ancient city. Overseas exchanges during the Tang dynasty gifted Guangzhou with China's earliest mosque, the Huayashing Mosque. Then came the Western colonists of the 19th century, who brought this all-stone Gothic cathedral to Guangzhou, the Sacred Heart Cathedral. Turning to look around, you'll see the city is lined with arcade-style buildings known as kilu. This architectural style, introduced from overseas, not only gives Guangzhou a unique visual charm, but is also perfectly suited to the city's unique climate. During the rainy spring and summer, these arcades act as umbrellas for the people of Guangzhou. And when the sun beats down in the summer and autumn, these same umbrellas provide them with cool shade. Beyond architecture, the most significant influence the sea routes brought to Guangzhou was its vibrant commercial culture. There was Paper Firm Road, once Guangzhou's commercial center, and Mingxi Road, a street for rice trading. Dulin Shangji was the wholesale market for beans. There were also Yarn Street, Hat Street, Secondhand Clothes Street, and Pigment Ancient Path, Agate Alley, and Tofu Cross Lane. On Jianglin Road, you could find every trade imaginable, with each having its own street. And during the Qing dynasty's era of isolation, Guangzhou was the country's only port open to foreign trade. Sichuan was precisely where the 13 factories, which managed all foreign trade, were located. These grand, historic houses along the streets were the Guangzhou CBD of their time. After the founding of New China, Guangzhou became the country's most important city for international commerce, serving as the link to the world for this newly independent nation. In 1957, the first China Export Commodities Fair was launched in Guangzhou. This is the world-renowned Canton Fair. For a very long time, the Canton Fair was the main channel for New China's foreign trade. And as it expanded, the location of the Canton Fair's venue also changed several times. In 2022, the Guangzhou Canton Fair Complex is set to be expanded into the world's largest convention and exhibition complex. People from even more countries and industries will continue to come to the Canton Fair to discover opportunities in China's foreign trade. However, if its success were purely commercial, Guangzhou would not be the great, boundless city it is today. The reason it has prospered for over 1,000 years, the most crucial reason, is the people from all corners of the country who, over the millennia, have gathered in this land to build their homes and careers, and to realize their dreams. In Guangzhou, if you trace the ancestry of those we call locals today, you will find that many of them are descendants of migrants from the Central Plains who fled south due to ancient wars. Leaving their homes behind, entire clans migrated south, coming to Guangzhou in search of peace and a livelihood. To remember their origins, they built ancestral halls in this new land, carving mythological stories and symbols onto the eaves and tiles, praying that, as time passed, they would no longer be displaced, so that their clan's beliefs could be passed down and strengthened. In addition to that, for hundreds of years, those who had traveled across the oceans to study or do business returned to their homeland here, bringing with them new trends and ideas. These new waves of thought had an even more profound impact on modern China. In an era of darkness and turmoil, idealists influenced by these new ideas fought relentlessly. All across Guangzhou, you can find various sites of revolutionary history. After the reform and opening up, wave after wave of people with dreams in their hearts once again journeyed south from all over the country in a great migration. Chasing their dreams in Guangzhou, the train station became the first stop on their quest. And that slogan, "Unify the Motherland, Revitalize the Chinese Nation," became deeply etched into the Guangzhou dream of countless individuals. In the decades of development since, skyscrapers have continuously shot up across the city. China's internet industry sprouted and evolved here. Drones, autonomous driving, the mining of flammable ice from the deep sea's new technologies, new applications, new trends, and new ideas have often entered China by way of Guangzhou. And when we, back at the coast, where Guangzhou's journey to the world began, you'll discover that even though the waterways have shifted over thousands of years, the ancient port of Guangzhou has never once been replaced. Today, Ninja Port weaves a network of 141 shipping routes, connecting the world's major ports, and has become a new world-class port. Now, let's go back to the question we asked at the beginning. Who is it that created Guangzhou's 1,000 years of prosperity? The answer has become clear. It is the rains from the heavens that gather in the Pearl River, giving the people here the courage to venture forth. It is the boundless wines that stir the South China Sea, setting for them a stage of limitless possibilities. And even more, it is the people from all corners of the earth converging in Guangzhou, forging its pioneering spirit, always ahead of its time. 1,000 years of storms, 1,000 years of surging tides of people. At Guangzhou like this, where flowers are always in bloom, reflecting the splendor of the city. At Guangzhou like this, with a prosperous economy, yet one that never loses touch with the soul of everyday life. At Guangzhou like this, facing the next millennium, is forever as boundless as the sea and sky.